Hi, I'm Don, alcoholic. And I first got sober on January 13th, 1970. Oh, wait a second. I think that's my sponsor. I hear him so many times that I kind of get confused. I got sober on March 20th of 1992. Screwed up a little bit there. When I first came here, like a lot of you, I didn't think I was an alcoholic, but I had a better excuse than many of you. Mine was that my wife at the time had 10 years of sobriety. She was the National Council on Alcoholism Executive Director in Long Beach, and a year before I got here, she told all of her friends and everybody that I definitely was not an alcoholic. So I took that to the bank. Now, what she didn't know is she was working on lack of good information, because I was very good at hiding my drinking and so forth. But anyhow, the day I got here, my wife told me that I was now an alcoholic, and if I didn't go to Alcoholics Anonymous, she would divorce me. So she got me a sponsor and sent me off to my first meeting. And I joined. I had no intention of staying here, but I did it primarily to save the marriage. But 11 days later, she filed for divorce anyhow. So that didn't work. Actually, later on, she decided that she didn't want a divorce, and then later on, I decided that I did. So that's what happened. But anyhow, I don't know if I said March 20th or February 20th, but anyhow, the first date that I got sober was February 20th of 92, and then on March 20th, I hadn't told anybody that I was in Alcoholics Anonymous. I said that I was going on a diet to lose weight, and that I had cut out drinking beer. And a friend of mine at lunch, he bought me a Coors Light, and he said, this won't bother your diet. And so I didn't want to say anything, so I drank it. But I had no intention of telling anybody else that. That was going to be a secret between me and the rest of the world. But about 9 months later, the truth came out. And I remember my sponsor telling me, well, now, when I slipped up and let this be known, I'd taken my 30, 60, and 90-day chips and all 6 months in a lie. And he says, well, what are we going to do about that? And I says, well, it's too late now. We can't say anything. And he said, we were going to go to our a meeting that night. I forgot what time I started, but anyhow. I probably won't go 10 minutes anyhow, so Cliff kind of likes that I'm the 10-minute speaker, because I usually give him a lot more time to speak, because I don't finish my 10 minutes. Anyhow, he said, asked me what I was going to do about telling the people in our meeting. We were to go to a book study that night, which was my home group, and there's about 6 of us there. And I said, well, I don't dare tell them that. What'll they say, you know? He says, well, he left it up to me. But in the meeting, he kind of chided me into mentioning it. So I did, and all 5 of the other people there had a much better story about having than mine about missing a drink. So anyhow, at 9 months, I went to a meeting which was close to my home in Palos Verdes at the time in San Pedro, where tonight's speaker was speaking, and that's the first time I heard him, and he sort of rang my bell, and in that meeting is when I got my spiritual experience, and so I've stuck by him ever since then. I drove down to Carlsbad to the meeting every Thursday night there for about 6 months, and then no, it was probably longer than that. And then I, after I sold my house in Palos Verdes, I moved to Oceanside, and I've been living there close to my sponsor and my grandson and my daughter. I love it there. And the meeting there is one of the things that I'd like to talk about. This is a nice meeting, by the way, and of course I like my Carlsbad AA workshop. I think it's the greatest in the world. But the first time I went down there, the second time I went down there were about 7 or 8 people came up to me and welcomed me by name, and that's about twice as many as that ever welcomed me at my home meeting. So this impressed the heck out of me, and so I've been going there ever since. This area is pretty familiar to me because this is where I did a lot of my drinking. Not so much in the Paramount area, but I lived in Orange County and Newport Beach and Costa Mesa and Corona Del Mar, and did a lot of drinking around here. And then I raced cars at Riverside. For a while I was a sports car racer, and did a lot of drinking then with that scene. One of the things I'd like to mention is that I about 6 or 7 years ago, I decided to really, at one of Cliff's monthly meetings of the people he sponsors, I, out of the blue, just decided that I was going to really try to follow the first part of the AA Creed, the accepting things I cannot change. And I really, really made an all-out effort to do that, and that has just so much changed my life, I can't believe it. I went home and deprogrammed all of my VCRs that were recording Crossfire and Rush Limbaugh and all of these political programs and everything. And since these were things that I couldn't change, and I would get all bent out of shape by listening to those things, and so I did that, and then about 3 or 4 months ago, I changed that I added a little twist to it, in that I not only accept things I can't change, but I would try to analyze if the thing that I was accepting, if it was another person, then I would try to look at it from their standpoint. And I like to always give the example of Senator Daschle, which I'm a conservative, and he kind of he made me unhappy, you know. But now I would just, when he would do something that would make me angry, I would ask, well, now is he doing this out of his belief? Does he think this will make his party better? Is it going to get him reelected? What is it gonna do for him? And does he believe this, and so forth? And once I started doing that, my life really changed. And a good example of this is that when I moved to Oceanside, I had maybe a little over $47,000. And about 3 years ago, I had almost $12 million in that was gross, not net assets, but I had a lot of stuff on margin and so forth, but nevertheless, it was a lot of money. And since then, with the market going down and the fact that I had leveraged and so forth, I went down faster than I went up. And so right now, I have $350. And I owe, between the IRS and credit card debt and everything, about $750,000. And my total income is Social Security and retirement and everything is about $1,800 a month. So you can see that's quite a change, and I can honestly say, without even a slight bit of a doubt, I'm never been happier than I am right today. And I did a lot of good things. I got a lot of the money off to my children and so forth, and I'm just as happy as can be. And I guess that's probably close to 10 minutes, so I'm going to say goodbye.